Dave McClellan. I am a co-coordinator of the Lincoln-Sudbury Civic Orchestra Chamber Players Program. I work with Eric Hollander, one of our violists, and we put these programs together. This is our second season of operating the chamber music program. The Civic Orchestra was founded in 1973, and we didn't really have a chamber music initiative until 2024. So this gives us a chance to showcase members and guests, members who wouldn't otherwise necessarily be featured in orchestra concerts. So it widens our exposure to the community, and we're really delighted to be doing it. Thank you for coming here and sharing our theme of bidding farewell to snow. The name came up kind of suddenly to me as I was doing publicity, and I thought, well, we need a name for this program, and it was during one of those storms when I had shoveled 3 times already, and so I said, we're going to say farewell to snow. And it's getting warm enough so that it's disappearing now. So thanks for helping us say farewell, and it's too bad that all those other people who are not here today, well, they're outside bidding farewell to snow maybe. So I'd like to say some thank yous to several important folks who are involved in this beyond the members. Thank you to the Meeting House Concerts for sponsoring us this second time. We were here in March of last year with our first concert for the Meeting House Concert. Thank you to the faculty and staff at Lincoln-Sudbury Regional High School who support us all the time. Thank you to Dave Andrews and Terry Lockhart in the back who are operating sound and video for us today. Thank you to Jennifer Chiapella for taking your money. Thank you to Juliana Dubner, our violist and outstanding photographer. These are our first real photographs taken at an event of one of our concerts. And lastly, thank you to our guests. We have 5 guests. You can see in the program who's a guest and who's not a regular member. Our guests are Jeanette McClellan, one of my personal favorites. Christine Kirby. Both Jeanette and Christine have been here, involved in almost every concert we've done. Kevin Martins, who is a new addition today. I'm delighted that Kevin was able to play with us today. And Judith Manning-Leonard, who is accompanying John O'Toole. So thank you to our guests. Please give them a round of applause. If you could remember, if you're carrying a mobile device, to turn the noises off on that. You can take pictures, I think, even though we've got a professional photographer here today. But if you could make sure your noises are off, and we will get started with Alex and Christine and Jeanette playing the outstanding musical offering of Bach.
Hi, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about this piece because I think it's kind of funny. Funny. Not as in ha ha ha, but it's interesting. Once upon a time, there's a flutist king called Frederick the Great of Prussia. And he thought he was hot stuff, and he issued our dear friend J.S. Bach a challenge. Come and improvise on this theme live, no rehearsals, no nothing. And I have found a couple of stories that say he was able to improvise a canon, which is like a round, row, row, row your boat, but with 3 different voices, on this theme live in person for Frederick the Great. Later on, J.S. Bach, who, by the way, his son was Kapellmeister in Frederick the Great's court, C.P.E. Bach. So I'm going to ask Jeanette to play this theme. You'll hear how chromatic it is, and I can't imagine improvising to this. So Bach took that and jammed around, as we would say in the 21st century, on that theme. Later on, writing this giant piece called The Musical Offering, in which there are pieces, it's a big collection of works, and in some of them have a 6-part canon, so 6 voices. The little bit that Jeanette and Christina and I are playing actually has 3 voices, right? So see if you can hear them. Here's where you'll hear the three voices.
Hello. For those of you who couldn't see it clearly, this is a tuba. It's not the biggest one there is, although it's out there. The tuba is the latest, the youngest of the brass section in the orchestra. While people have been playing trumpets since they had this little incident at Jericho, nobody knows quite what happened there. They think the trumpets just scared everybody. But the tuba was not patented until 1847 by a German bandmaster. Somehow that makes a lot of sense. And we generally sit in the back of the orchestra and read a lot of books. If you notice the orchestra brass section, even when the trombones are pounding away, the tuba players, they're like, let's see, Thai or Chinese later. But when you do play, it's a marvelous thing. So what I'm going to play first is, excuse me, an aria from the Magic Flute sung by Sarastro, he's the high priest. And I'm not sure entirely what the words mean, but it probably has some sort of high priestly meaning. I'll move forward a little. I have to move forward so she can see me, so that she can accompany the look of agony on my face when I get lost. Better?
See?
Oh, and yes. We'd like to know if we're somewhere near the piano. Not bad. All right? Hit it. This is not a tuba. I know I'm listed as tuba, but it's kind of a tuba. It's what happens when you leave it out in the rain. And this is actually called an alto horn. At least it's called an alto horn in the United States. In Britain, the same instrument is called a tenor horn, but you know how the British are. And then in Europe, it's called an althorn, which means alto horn. It's because when people started putting valves and things on brass instruments, there was a natural instinct to see how big can we make one, how small can we make one, hence tubas and alto horns. There's not an awful lot of music. This is, if you listen to the Music Man, you'll hear this referred to as a peck horn, because in a lot of bands from back then, this horn was relegated to the dut, 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 while everybody else got to play the tune. I'm not going to play that. I'm going to play something from a Mozart horn concerto, which was written for a French horn, but I think these things deserve a little exposure. Mozart wrote most of these for his concerti for a friend of his named Ludwig. His first name is listed as 3 different things in 3 different sources, as is the fact that as a horn player he did pretty well, but he had to have a side gig too, so he also ran a cheese shop, or maybe a sausage shop, depends on who you read. Anyway, this is the Rondo from Mozart's Horn Concerto No. 4 in E flat. I'm going to play it in E flat. Thank you. And to my string orchestra.
I meant to point out that the program today kind of follows a chronological arc: Bach, Mozart, Mattiega, and then Foote and Pärt and Ibert are kind of all mixed in together in the 20th century, and then Tom Fabonio's work is actually the very newest piece on the program. But so we're largely kind of following a chronological arc. I'll tell you a little bit about this piece, the trio by Wenceslaus Mattiega, who's Czech. He was a Czech guitarist composer around the turn of the 18th to the 19th century. He was considered one of the Jimi Hendrix kinds of figures of the guitar at that time. It's quite notable that one of his most important patrons was the noble house of Esterházy, which is the same sponsor for Franz Joseph Haydn. So Mattiega was held in high regard in Viennese music scenes. He wrote this trio, but it is often mistakenly attributed to Schubert, because Schubert thought enough of this to add a cello part to it, so it was published as a quartet by Schubert, but it's also available to be played as a trio, the Nocturno Opus 21 by Mattiega. We hope to play this as a quartet in April at our April 27th concert. But we need a cellist to do that.
Arthur Foote, as you can see from his, actually I've got the wrong Arthur Foote on my Wikipedia, excuse me. He was born in Salem, Massachusetts, and spent a lot of time at the First Universal Unitarian Universalist Church in Boston as the organist. I think he was there for 35 years. And he was part of the Boston Six, which was a group of composers that included himself, Amy Beach, Edward McDowell, Horatio Parker, and since I haven't got my page open, I don't remember the name of the other two, but they weren't people I recognized. He was also one of the founders of the American Guild of Organists, which is pretty interesting, and he was one of their presidents in the New England or the Boston branch for a long time. And I think he wrote a hymnal, a Unitarian hymnal. So he's very involved in church music. But I think his real claim to fame is that he lived in Dedham, and he was one of the founding members of the New England Association for Apprehending Horse Thieves. And you can look this up yourself and do a little digging, because it's a pretty interesting story. So we're about to play the melody by Arthur Foote.
No, there it is. Okay. This is a piece by the composer Ervo Pärt, who was born in 1935. So he's, at least of today, as far as I know, still alive, but in his 90s. And he's had quite a life. He is an Estonian composer, and I'm no expert, but Estonia has been through quite a lot since 1935, and he's lived through a lot of that. But Estonia is also a place of rich cultural, specifically musical heritage. It's a country that's undergone periods of various occupation or threats of occupation, various moments of independence. It's the country of the singing revolution. It's the country of, in the thick of a lot of trouble for most of the 20th century. And yet it has this steadfast musical culture to it. And Ervo Pärt's music fits into that in a complicated way. His music is always meditative and often explicitly Christian, in a country that is often prevented or I guess it's illegal often, or has been throughout his history, to be publicly Christian, to worship in that way. So he's become somewhat of a political figure, having composed pieces that are explicitly Christian and having them premiered in Estonia in times when that was illegal, and been in exile for certain periods of time. But really, it's remarkable how strong he is in his insistence. We don't often think of composers in this way as, would you risk your life to have this piece premiered in this place? Often we think of them as entertainers, someone who writes what people want to hear. But I do want to hear this music. I think that this music is what the world often wants to hear. And whether or not you're Christian, I think we can all resonate with its meditative aspect and its complicated simplicity. This is Spiegel im Spiegel, a piece written and arranged for various instrumentation, but it means mirror in mirror, or infinite mirrors.
Jacques Ibert was a French composer, kind of an interesting character. He was very prodigious, very gifted at a very young age, and studied at the Paris Conservatory composition, and was the youngest person to ever win the Prix de Rome, which is a very coveted prize awarded by the Conservatory. And it was also even more notable that he won it after his studies being interrupted by serving in the Allied forces during World War I. He came back and then won the prize. He was a self-described eclectic composer. He refused to be associated with the two major compositional genres that were formed by by collections of composers. The Impressionists, he wasn't interested in being sort of a part of the Impressionist club, nor was he interested in being a part of LSCO, the Six, that include Darius Milhaud and a couple of other rock stars. So Jacques Ibert sort of was unto himself in style and selection of medium. The entr'acte was written as an interlude for a special staging of the play by the Baroque Spanish playwright Calderón de la Barca. The play was called Life is a Dream, and entr'acte was an interlude during the staging of this play, originally composed for harp, but Ibert also condoned and approved of the arrangement of the harp part for the guitar. And it's because it was involved in this very, very Spanish Baroque play and production, it has a very Spanish sound.
Now for something completely different.
Quite different from Parrot.
Yeah.
as we're getting set up. Jana and Kevin didn't really want to say anything about this piece. And I don't know much about this piece, so I'm going to say something else instead. But I just want to this is the second, this is our last piece on the program. So I wanted to make sure we got a chance to say thank you for coming. And for some of you who have been at several of our chamber music concerts, thank you for coming again. It really means a lot for you to support us and to participate in these shows. We play music together all the time, and not just in as part of the orchestra. We come together twice a year, but we need more than that. So, so thank you for sharing that with us, coming together musically, making music happen as a community, and making not just the physical music happen, but the musical phenomenon that is something like this concert. This moment of community together is a really special moment. So thank you for that. I do want to draw your attention to the back page of the program, just so you know. We have, as an orchestra, we have our concert at the Lincoln-Sudbury High School coming up. I believe that's May 31st. And but before then, we have 2 more chamber music recitals. One in Wayland at the Community Center on April 27th, and the other one in Maynard at the Public Library on May 2nd. So hopefully those should be just as fun. And this piece is entitled Unseasonably 3 Songs for Early Autumn. It's written by a composer who's relatively local, but he couldn't be here today. But from what I hear, he's a great guy. It was originally written for violin, guitar, and clarinet, but it's been transposed. So I'll do my best. Thank you for joining us. We're going to play, it's not listed in the program, we're going to play 2 movements. There are 3, but we're just going to play